And today we're talking about the 2025 Kia Sorento. It's got a bold new look, some brand new tech, but it still has the best of both worlds that you know and love in the Sorento plug-in hybrid.
And we got it in a new color here for you guys today.
So no big deal. And of course, this is a live stream, so we're doing this in real time, no takes, no edits. It's just us in the car giving you all the facts and giving you a complete in-depth walkthrough of everything you're gonna get on more specifically the EX trim level.
Definitely.
So what's been new for 2025, other than of course the new tech and the new look?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So obviously for 2025, we've got it showcased here in the new color. So this is going to be the color Volcanic Sand Brown. So it may be reading pretty gray on camera, but this actually is a brown color, but we'll have to let you guys decide in the comments below. So if you're watching live with us, feel free to put in the chat if you think this looks more gray or brown, or if you're watching this as it's already posted, let us know. Is it gray? Is it brown? What do you think of this color?
And while on the outside, there's obviously a lot of new changes and a bold new look, on the inside is where things truly get impressive and what makes it, I think, most special compared to last year.
Oh, were you gonna
No,
okay.
I was just saying.
I definitely think the software inside this vehicle is absolutely amazing. It's definitely my favorite upgrade that we see, and it's one of the reasons why I actually switched into a Sorento too. But stay tuned as we go and take a look at it.
All right, let's get into it. So we'll start off with the exterior and the powertrain. Now, of course, the plug-in hybrid, it can be a little bit unfamiliar for a lot of people, or you might be completely familiar with the process of what a plug-in hybrid is. I'll simplify it a bit for you guys. So it is very much a hybrid in the sense that it's going to utilize both electric power and gas power. You are still putting fuel into this vehicle, but unlike a traditional hybrid, which the Sorento also carries, you can also plug it in and reap the benefits of driving on pure electric range. You have 48 kilometers of all-electric range available on both models of the Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid, so EX and SX, and there's a lot more than meets the eye. So first we'll take a look at the aesthetics of the vehicle, starting off with the front end. For the grille, you have a nice flat black finish surrounded by a little bit of chrome housing, giving it a kind of dark meets light look. You also have a beautiful stamped on Kia emblem in a low profile aluminum finish. I think it looks really good. And then down below, some more body color on your front bumper, a bit of black, and that's going to house your front parking sensors. So it's nice, although the EX is considered the entry trim level, you're still getting a ton of tech and safety standard. You also have this radar plate here that will be utilized for your forward collision avoidance, but also your smart cruise control. So essentially a smart cruise control is of course going to go to the speed that you set it to, but also maintain a safe following distance from the vehicle ahead of you and take you all the way to a complete stop if you hit stop and go traffic. Speaking of stop and go traffic, that's where something like a plug-in hybrid truly shines. If you're in those high consumption scenarios, so typically a gas car, that's when you're losing a lot of, wasted energy. This vehicle is going to be running in EV mode, so you're not wasting a drop of gas, you're not giving any emissions, you're just purely an EV in those situations. So nice to see there. We also have a little bit more of the nice chrome finish on your bottom lip and some nice skid plates as well too. Gonna pop the hood to talk a little bit more about the powertrain and what makes the plug-in hybrid truly special. So it's gonna utilize a 1.6 liter turbocharged gasoline direct injection engine. So hence the hybrid aspect of it. You're still gonna have a regular engine in this vehicle, meaning you are still gonna get oil changes for this car. And of course, it's got engine power. Now, when you're driving this vehicle, you do have a button that allows you to cycle between EV mode, hybrid mode, or automatic mode. EV mode is going to be exactly what it sounds like. It's going to prioritize using the electric range. Considering you plug in your vehicle, or hopefully you plug in your vehicle, you should have about 48 kilometers of all electric range, which is good. Or if you put your vehicle into hybrid mode and allow the engine to run and you're doing a lot of regenerative braking and coasting, you can build some of that range back without actually plugging in your vehicle. So that's also nice to see. Situations where a gas car would be losing energy, like, braking your car, you're actually getting more back in with this vehicle thanks to its regenerative braking system. This engine is going to give you 261 horsepower, or I shouldn't say the engine and electric motors combined will give you 261 horsepower, and you're also going to get 258 pound-feet of torque. That's actually very ample power and more than we'll get on the naturally aspirated gasoline Sorento. So it is a ton of fun to drive, but it's still very, very efficient, which we like to see. It's rated at 3.2 liters per 100 kilometers, liter equivalent, considering you're using gasoline and electric. And that is awesome consumption, considering it is a 3-row all-wheel drive SUV. For your transmission, it's a 6-speed automatic, so nice smooth gear shifts. And we do have paddle shifters inside the vehicle. Let's take a look at the wheels now. I really do like these wheels. They have been changed from last year. If you're asking me what I thought of the plug-in hybrid wheels last year, I don't love them. But these ones are fantastic. So beautiful design. It's going to be the same on the EX and the SX model. You get an all-season tire, and all models are equipped with all-wheel drive here in Canada with incorporated terrain mode. So I can actually put my vehicle into snow, mud, or sand mode, and that will manually change the torque distribution to those conditions. So it's nice to have those extra precautions if you are driving in that kind of weather. You do have a little bit of black around your wheel well with a marker. And I didn't really talk about the headlights. Maybe we should show that. You get full LED positioning lights, daytime running lights, and of course your amber marker lights. I think it looks really good. You also have intelligent high beam assist with this vehicle, so if you do have your high beams on and another car comes by, it will shut them off until it's safe to turn them back on again. So a little less thinking for you as a driver, making this a very smart car. Let's take a look at our little fender flare right over here. So you get a mix of a nice chrome and a little bit of satin. There's a tad of black just underneath your marker on your mirror, turn signal indicator, and then a bit of body color. Also on your mirrors, on the actual mirrored portion, you will have blind spot detection. So when you're in the driver's seat, you can see that icon will illuminate to let you know if there's a vehicle in either your left or right blind spot. It'll also beep inside the cabin if you do actually go to indicate a turn, and it will revert you into your originating lane if it senses the risk of a blind spot collision. So very smart car. Another thing I love about the Sorento PHEV is the proximity key. So the EX model is going to have the actual physical buttons. All you got to do is press that, and as long as the key is somewhere on you, it allows you to get in and out of your vehicle very easily because you don't have to dig for your key. It'll just do so based off proximity. It's also a push to start, so once you hop in, again, same thing. You don't actually have to find your key. You start your car, and you're off. It's really nice to have. There are some nice flush roof rails on the top of the vehicle if you want to utilize any rooftop storage. And for anybody who's interested in towing with this vehicle, it's rated for 2,000 pounds of towing capacity when properly equipped. And that is lower than the gas Sorento, but keep in mind it does have a smaller engine and it's more efficient. Along the back end of this vehicle, you're going to get a high-mounted LED stop lamp, but for your actual main tail lights, they will not be LEDs. However, still very, very bright. Get a beautiful sporty design back here, and it's fairly simple, but that's what I like about the Sorento. It's not overdone in the styling department. It leaves everything on the inside. That's where you're going to get that very sleek and tech-forward cabin. There is Sorento badging on the bottom left and some hybrid, or plug-in hybrid, I should say, badging on the right side. You also have rear parking sensors, a beautiful crystal clear backup camera underneath the eye in Kia, and my favorite part, a smart power liftgate. So this is proximity based, or of course you could utilize the physical button here on your key fob or in the driver's area. Back here you can see your cargo space, which may not look like a lot when the vehicle has its third row up, but you still have a little bit of room back here. Underneath your floorboard, you do have your spare tire kit.
Wow, you get so much room under there.
So much room. But this is a big deal, a spare tire on a plug-in hybrid. Nobody does, I guess I shouldn't say nobody's doing it.
We don't see it anymore.
Because we're doing it.
Yeah.
No, but this is something that is very rare on a lot of vehicles, more specifically anything in the compact segment or hybrid plug-in hybrid segment. The main reason why you don't see a lot of temporary spare tires anymore is, number one, they don't want you to be on the road for that long because of risks. But also, a lot of people do it for cost-cutting measures, and you guys know the drill. Weight reduction.
It's a race car.
We don't care about weight reduction on this one. The spare tire is located underneath the vehicle. And there you can also see we do have a real exhaust because, again, this vehicle does have a gas engine. I don't know if I explained plug-in hybrids a little bit too as good as I should have in the beginning. If you guys have any questions or want some clarification, let us know in the live chat. We can talk about it after the interior walkthrough. I'm going to fold down these rear seats so you guys can see what the vehicle will look like space-wise without them in use. So here's where things get a little bit tricky for the Sorento. If you do have the third row down, you're down to 4 seats. You only got 4 passenger spaces in here. Actually 3, minus the driver. But you have a lot of room, seriously, a ton of space. You can also see the amenities that the third row passengers do have from here. So you do get USB-Cs, some nice cup holders, and even some extra storage. I will say this third row is very, very comfortable thanks to the height. This vehicle has a really, really good headroom for its third row passengers. It's very comfy to sit back here. Charlotte will demonstrate when we do hop inside, just so you guys can see it in person. Now I'll close this up. I should probably also show you guys the charge port and the fuel door.
Please do.
So here's the charge port. So it's going to be on the passenger side of the vehicle. With a plug-in hybrid for Kia, you can do AC charging only. So there is the level 1 charger that comes with the car. It doesn't require any special wiring. Any household outlet will do. So the same outlet you're going to plug your phone's charger into, you can plug your car into that. That's going to, of course, charge your vehicle slower, but it is complimentary with your purchase, so no extra cost, no special wiring. Or you can utilize a level 2 charger like what we have right behind Charlotte, right there. And that, of course, will be quicker. It's just under 4 hours. So this is the kind of charger you'll find in more so public spaces like a mall or any sort of shopping center. They'll usually have a level 2 there. Totally utilize it. And here's some real world experience. My mom actually drives a Sorento PHEV. If you've been watching these videos for a while, you've heard me talk about my mom before. She loves it. Before her Sorento PHEV, she was driving the V6 2017 Kia Sorento. Love that car too, but a V6 is going to be fuel hungry. She was using that for commuting. So her drive is about 40 kilometers highway each way, so about 80 kilometers a day. She drives to work on pure electric on her Sorento PHEV, charges it at work, and bonus, she works here, so we got chargers.
We all know to leave that charger free
Yeah,
for
that
her.
charger's for her.
We're
It's
well
reserved.
trained.
And then drives back home on electric. She went from getting gas at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, to getting gas maybe 2 times a month. That was a big difference for her.
That's impressive.
So she is very happy with that. That is, of course, having the ability to charge at work. Not everyone has that, but if you can plug it in at home every night, you can certainly reap the benefits of a plug-in hybrid. We have quite a few customers between the Nero plug-in hybrid, Sportage, or Sorento plug-in hybrid that are barely getting gas, which also you might want to freshen your tank up every once in a while. But you can really extend the range. So while it's only 40 kilometers of all electric, if you're not driving 48 kilometers a day, plug it in at night, the possibilities are endless, really.
So for reference, is my parents' neighbors just picked up their Sorento PHEV, and I was talking to them today, where she has currently gone 1,000 kilometers on 1 tank of gas, and she is still reading at over 300 kilometers for the fuel.
That's awesome.
Isn't that insane?
That is really good.
And that is only using a level 1 charger,
yes.
too.
There is, of course, also the option for gas. So if you are someone with range anxiety, here's where a plug-in hybrid makes a lot of sense. If you do a lot of long road trips and can't be bothered to have to wait however long to charge your vehicle, you can always put gas in it, and your vehicle will still behave like a typical hybrid. So you are still utilizing that electric motor, it's just not going to be able to drive you fully, if that makes sense. If you're stopped, you'll still be idling in EV mode. If you're going very slow or braking, going down a hill, it'll still be in EV mode. So the best of both worlds in that sense. You don't lose out too much. The only time I would say you lose out getting a plug-in hybrid if you can't charge it every day is, of course, the additional cost of purchasing a plug-in hybrid. They are going to be a bit more expensive. Speaking of, do you remember the MSRP, Charlotte?
No.
$45,645 for this model. You do get a $2,500 federal incentive if you're in Ontario. If you're in some of the other provinces that have provincial incentives, those of course go on top of that. So it can actually become very affordable compared to the gas Sorento. All right, let's take a look inside.
Let's take a look inside.
That was a long one, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. A couple people I saw were talking also about making sure that you are using gasoline when you are driving these vehicles. Yes, of course. Definitely make a point of using your gas every so often.
Don't let it sit for months.
Yeah, that ain't good for you.
But it is, I guess, worth mentioning,
Yeah,
just because some customers also ask, my gas engine kicked in the winter or getting onto the highway. And yeah, with a plug-in hybrid, if the electric motor isn't able to give you all the power that you're asking for, it will temporarily kick in that gas engine.
Definitely.
If it's a very cold day, it's going to need the engine to help warm it up.
Definitely.
If you're absolutely flooring it on the drag strip or maybe getting onto the highway, it also needs additional boost from the gas engine. So it will still use a little bit of fuel.
You got it. And
Right.
I think that was put well. So I hope that one thing that you guys notice is when we get into this vehicle is there's lots of different ways where you can configure it. And I'm not just talking about it for passenger comfort, I'm talking about how the vehicle actually responds. So that is definitely one big thing that we're going to be taking a look at once we go inside. But before we do that, driver's side door, let's talk about it. So tons of great detail elements here. You've got some nice satin chrome. Love the design of the door handles, how they're almost flush. And then you can see that from here you have electronically controlled mirrors, a one-touch obstacle detecting for your driver, and then regular automatic windows for everyone else. Your integrated window lock and child lock is just electronically controlled too. Regular speakers in this vehicle, which is nice to see. And then down below we have lots of space for a bottle compartment, storage, everything along those lines. For our seat, you can see that we have our regular 8-way power adjustable, and that does include 2-way lumbar support, so very comfortable. And the driver and passenger seat are also heated, and they are a nice leatherette. So nice and comfy, and they even have a little bit of a design-ish element to them, which I think looks pretty good. On this side, I just want to show the vents. I like how they kind of mimic the design that we see for our headlight unit, and they really stretch across the whole dash too. Everything looks very nice. Down here, brightness adjuster, tailgate control, traction control, and you can open up your fuel door from this button. Do you want to come around?
Sure.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm just reading Zoran's comments.
Oh, why would you do that?
He doesn't like my pants, that's okay. I absolutely love the new headlights, very different than what we had last year. And the front end just looks a lot more bold, if that makes sense. Definitely a lot more road presence. Still the same Sorento we know and love though.
I was gonna say, now that I'm seeing a lot more of this style on the road, I love it. I love an amber DRL. I just think it looks so good. So every time I see one, even though I drive one, I'm like, oh, that's a head turner. That looks good.
You guys have a really nice car.
I'm like, I drive a nice car, guys. All right, so let's talk a bit about what we have going on for our steering wheel. Leather wrapped, heated, little hint of piano black, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is really the only piano black that we're seeing. Good job, Kia.
That is a big win.
The people are listening. Thank you, Kia Canada. This one's for you. Over here, everything is very logically laid out. We're going to have our media controls, also, of course, our driving controls on this side. So that smart cruise control, that lane following distance, that lane keep assist, all here. And then media modes, virtual assistant, favorites button, everything along those lines. I'll talk about the screen that we do have. We have a 4.2-inch screen in the center with a digital speedometer and digital tachometer as well, which will always be present. Now, something that is great about having a PHEV is that it's going to give you a lot of features or stats, whatever you want to call it, at the touch of a button. So it's going to give you the amount of electric range versus gas. So right now it's not charged up. We got no electric range.
We are not
Which is so
benefiting.
fun to see. We're not benefiting from that right now, but it's okay. You can get up to about 48 kilometers. And then it's also going to give everything as to how the vehicle responds to you as the driver. It'll also let you know when it's in idling, when it's pulling from the motor, when it's pulling from the engine, everything along those lines, which is pretty dang cool I do say so. You can also see when you're getting power from the rear, so when that all-wheel drive system is kicking in, and of course, tire pressure. Behind me, I've got paddle shifters, which is very nice to see in a plug-in hybrid. We have a shift-by-wire gear shift, so no actual stick if you want to manually manipulate your gears. And when you do put the vehicle into eco mode, they actually have a dual purpose where you can actually adjust your regenerative braking. So very nice to see as well. So dual purpose, lots of things going on here. From here, we'll also have our wiper stock and lighting stock, pretty standard on this side.
Very nice.
I always forget where to touch it there. Okay, screen, 12.3 inches. And guys, this is gonna be one of my favorite parts. You guys already know how much I love this software, and I will yap your ear off about it every single time if given the chance. Why are you making that face, girl?
I just got an interesting comment.
I'm so scared. Okay, that's fine. Let's keep going. Now, one thing that you're going to see on this screen that you're not going to see on the rest of our vehicles is the PHEV button. So from here, it's going to pull up a diagram of your car. So if you don't understand how your plug-in hybrid works and you really only just know that it's efficient, this is actually going to be a really good way of showing you, because it's going to show you the flow of when you're using power from the battery, when the electric motor's kicking in, when the engine's kicking in, and obviously where your wheels are if you don't know where they are. You can also get a lot more of your EV or PHEV specific stats here. So what is your estimated range, the battery status, and then Gabby mentioned charging at home. From here, so you can actually schedule your charging into what time you typically like to leave your house. And then from here, you can actually schedule it to be during off-peak hours. That way you are not paying as much as you could be. Gabby also mentioned that it is only AC charging, so no DC charging on here. And then of course you can set the percentage that you want to charge up to. Very cool. From here, everything you can see is very easy to use. I love these big icons because they're easy to see as a driver, easy to click onto, and they are customizable too. Let me get a better point. So if you want to move it around, you certainly can. With this, you're also going to have the integration of wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which you guys already know I'm obsessed with. I absolutely love it. And then you can also, from here, go and access all of your safety features, as Gabby mentioned. So if you want to customize them, you definitely can. We'll move down because new for the 2025 PHEV is going to be a switchable infotainment and climate control cluster. That's a mouthful every time, but it's going to do as it says. All of these buttons do what they say. Map is actually going to take you to your phone's maps when it is connected. Search is going to be basically the search engine for this vehicle. So if you want to search for contacts, media, features, you can do so from right here. You even have a favorites button in the form of a star. To switch it to climate, you just hit the fan, And from here, you actually have a dual zone climate control. You can set fan directions, fan speed, and also have it be driver only if you're using this vehicle for commuting. This is going to help, of course, with that electric range because you are still, of course, using electricity to power that. So having it set to driver only is going to help save on only cooling or heating you up instead of the entire vehicle. Nice to see. Down below, heated seats. And this isn't piano black, which I love because underneath it, you can see we've got our wireless phone charger. You do have the option, if you want a wired connection, you can do so with the USB-C or just to charge it. And then another USB-C for the Gabby in your life.
Yes.
Cup holders, little compartment here, and then your shift-by-wire, which is great to see. This is definitely a little bit more of an enhanced version, very luxe. I like the look of it. And then still some Sorento badging. Now, in here, in this area, really in these buttons is where you're going to see all of the customization. So Gabby gave us a quick rundown of the mechanics behind it. I'm going to show you how to change it because it's really easy. So to do your drive modes, you're just going to turn Eco, Sport, Smart. Very nice to see. And then, of course, you're going to have your terrain modes too, so snow, mud, and sand to change up that torque distribution depending on the situation. And then underneath right here is another area where you're able to really adjust how the vehicle is driving. So this is your on-demand EV, HEV automatic button. So like what Gabby said, love that. Put it back into accessory mode. If you press this, you're going to be able to put the vehicle into hybrid mode, operating as an EV so long as the battery supports it. Right now it doesn't because the battery is too low, or that automatic mode. So that is really great, especially if you're sitting in traffic. You may as well get the most out of your range and switch it to EV mode in those high concentrated areas. And if not, you can put it into automatic where it's going to adjust it based on what is going to be best for the situation that you're in. So very smart car, very cool to see. Parking sensors as well. You've got your rear view camera beneath that. And it's also going to pull up for the front and rear parking sensors. Dynamic guidelines, which is great. And of course, hitch camera as well. You also have a wide view. Electronic parking brake, downhill braking assist, auto hold, and 2 levels of heat for your heated steering wheel. Glove box review, good amount of space here. It certainly doesn't disappoint. I like it. And up top, oh yeah, you do good glove box review. You're good.
Glove box review.
Thank you.
French and English.
No way. Bonjour. You do have Kia Connect, so that is Kia's telematics system. So from here you can access roadside assistance and emergency assistance as well. Let's take a look at the back seat and the third row.
Oh boy, I think the chat's acting up today.
Uh-oh. Did somebody say amenities? Because we definitely have them here in the second row and in the third row. I'm going to try to speed run this. We got pockets, 2 of them, dual USB-Cs, rear vents, which are actually going to go straight to the third row because we don't have rooftop mounted vents. 12 volt. These seats as well, they're on a rail system, so you can adjust your pass-through room or give those in the third row more legroom, or if you've got car seats, slide it back to allow more storage space or pass-through room too. Cup holders on the door and a bottle holder. I love that. Looks great. And then these seats, the second row, are very easy to knock forward as well if you are trying to get into the third row from outside of the vehicle. Wow, and they slide forward. From there is a little bit of a step that you can step on.
The only thing they don't do is lift the seats up for you.
It's okay. And if you can't tell, we do have tethers, so rear tethers and lower latch anchors on both of these seats. And then we also have them in the back. Now for the back, some people are going to knock it. Don't knock it. It's actually really good. So I used to think it wasn't, and then I did a road trip back here, and I'm like, this is so good. So number one, I love the amenities that I've got back here. I've got USB-Cs. I still have cup holders. I can knock the second row forward from either the top of the seat or from back here. Also handy for the trunk. I even have a 12 volt back here as well. These seats are also going to have lower latch anchors and rear tethers. But what I love about the captain's chair's configuration is if I'm sitting here, I can extend my leg. And someone else can extend their leg too. So I actually can get a little bit more leg room.
You get a lot more leg room.
Yeah, like I drove this vehicle to Montreal. My mother-in-law sat back here. I offered to go back here because I'm like, oh, it's so tight, so cramped. She's like, no, this is the best seat in the house. I'm gonna sit back here. And then she did it on the way home too. So don't knock it. Good amount of headroom. Obviously, if I do have my legs behind, they are up a little bit. So use the center row. Use it. Anyways. That concludes my review.
That's all. Thanks for watching, you guys. Maybe we'll answer a couple comments. We are 25 minutes ain't bad.
Oh, we're only at 25? That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Can you guys tell I'm not used to working on a Friday?
Yeah, this is Charlotte's first Friday working.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Is it giving squirrel energy?
It's definitely Fridays. We always joke they're very weird days at our car dealership. More specifically for Charlotte and I, because we have, I guess, we work in an interesting department.
Yeah.
We're the only people in our department.
We're the department.
We are each other's manager.
Yeah.
And
We manage each other.
not a lot gets done here.
No.
All right. Questions, guys? Questions. That's right. Zoran did ask how many water bottles. What's the percentage of recycled plastics Kia uses in the interior? Ryan responded 108 plastic bottles per seat. Which I just want to bring up that one comment we got once. We were talking about sustainability in our vehicles, and Kia does use a lot of recycled elements and just, like environment-friendly elements in the vehicle. It's no shocker that making vehicles isn't exactly a clean process, so they're trying to make it as clean and
As possible.
as possible. And someone in our comments said, why would I want someone else's trash in my car?
Why am I paying so much money for trash? And that made me laugh.
Yeah. I will say, if this was made out of trash, this is some nice trash, okay? One man's trash,
Definitely.
another man's treasure. It's my
Absolutely.
treasure. How much weight can this SUV pull or tow? So it's rated for 2,000 pounds.
Okay. I'm just scrolling up to the top.
Okay. So what's the color, gray or brown? It's technically brown, but it's very, very gray, I will say. There's certainly a little bit of brown metallic flake in it, but depending on the lighting and where you're
I
at.
think if you compare it with something that's gray too, I think that either, depending on the lighting, you can bring out the tones or it can allow you to focus more on the brown tones, but I look at it and I see more gray, personally.
It's Friday the 13th. A couple of people are saying that in the comments, that it is. What's better, the Tucson or the Sorento? So we actually don't get the Sorento here in Canada, so I can't give you a proper, I guess, take on that. But the Tucson is a fantastic vehicle. We love it here.
I'm excited about the new Kia truck. Any info about when it will be available? So we have heard that it isn't coming to North America, which is very sad. It's more so going to be isolated to Australia's market, which makes me very sad because I would have loved to have seen it. Should we go to Australia to review it?
Kia Canada, do you want to
Kia Canada, why would Kia Canada send us? It's not coming.
Oh, that's right.
Kia Worldwide. Shoot for the stars.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So gross, some of these comments. Okay. Just gonna remove that one. Yep. Joseph,
Okay.
sorry, this is very off topic, but Joseph said, I can imagine Zoran going over all of these features of these cars to his kidnapped victims.
That's really funny.
In most PHEV or hybrid vehicles, the battery pack is under the back seat. That is correct. A lot of them will have their 12 volt also in the back. Okay.
I'm just trying to look
Is that
for questions.
I feel like this is the hardest part of the video to watch.
Yeah.
Just us looking at our devices. Ayo, Gabby, $20 to block Zoran for a day. It's tempting.
We have blocked him before,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed up here.
This Sorento is definitely too expensive according to the website, and Tucson is cheaper slightly, but smaller for passengers. Greetings from Oakville. So yeah, the Sorento is definitely a larger vehicle than the Tucson, so price difference is going to be there for sure. I will say, it also, I mean, it comes down to your styling points as well too, and what you're really looking for in a vehicle. If you really need that third row, Sorento is the way to go. There's just not available in the Tucson. But yeah, usually with the larger vehicle, you are going to pay a little bit more price point wise. And I think it makes sense. I don't think the Sorento is too high priced in its market, though. I think it's actually very, very reasonably priced.
I think that this one specifically for $645 plus the $2,500 incentive, I think that is a very good price.
Absolutely.
Especially when you compare it against its gasoline counterpart, and then also the tech and safety that you do have in this car. I think that this is a really, really strong buy.
Absolutely. Patrick C said, in Canada, most PHEVs qualify for the 5K rebate. I think due to the range of Sorento only qualifies for 2.5. That's
Correct.
right, yeah.
So that is a downgrade, I will say. I would have loved to have still seen it maintain that 51 kilometer electric charge rating. I think that that is a bit of a downgrade. However, like I said, I think that this vehicle is very much priced to sell. I think it's priced very, very well.
Oh boy. Okay, I think we'll end off today's video.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining.
Yes. Snooches.
Snooches.
Bye.
Bye.